is well with everybody. Welcome in. We're going to get started. Um, Today is us talking about the hidden costs of holding on to the terrible habits that we have and how they are making us toxic. And these terrible habits are not only harming our body more in a state that we are currently in when it comes to us managing symptoms, dealing with the issues of fatigue, being constantly, consistently hungry and tired, and dealing with pain when we come for our menstrual cycle, being inflamed, anxious, overwhelmed, irritable overall. And this isn't just your hormones, but it's layers. It's layers of overload, and your body is giving you signs and symptoms to let you know that you are completely overloaded. And instead of us doing something about it by fixing it with our habits and changing our lifestyle, we manage it with prescriptions. We manage it with some type of surgery. And that's what we are taught. That is what our programming is. But this programming, these teachings don't help us heal, but instead help us manage. And so we're consistently managing the same issues over and over again instead of healing them. And so what we have to do is get away from the space of managing and start learning what the healing habits are. How do they support us? How do they help us be able to get to the next level when it comes to us not only taking care of our body, but understanding how to heal so that we can teach a next generation behind us how to balance their hormones, how to not develop diseases, how to overall be balanced and to feel good each and every day. And in that space, taking that and using that and sharing that with their friends, sharing that with other family members, because this is something that should be shared. Health should be spread, but instead of us spreading good fortune, health, good habits, a healthy, happy lifestyle, we are taught in a society that programs us to be sick, that programs us to sit here and not know how to take care of our body, to sit here and make it to the next day and not support your system when it comes to your cycle as a woman. So then now we're sitting here fighting against our cycle, and then we're having issues of PMSing. We're having issues of the irregular cycle, and overall feeling stuck. And you're feeling stuck thinking that you're lacking discipline, that you have no motivation. And these two things right there are taught to you to think that you're being lazy, you're not doing enough. But in reality, it's not the fact that you're being lazy, you're lacking motivation, you can't do it, you don't have enough energy. It's the fact that you're not taking care of your body with nutrition, with food as medicine. And so then you're lacking everything that you need, so your body literally cannot do any of these things that you wanted to do. So yes, you're not feeling motivated. Yes, you're feeling like you don't have enough discipline, because mentally, your body cannot do anything else but besides try to survive. And so this survival mode is putting your body in a state of panic. It's putting you in fight or flight mode. And your body is trying to reason with you by giving you symptoms of illnesses, give you signs to let you know you can heal, but you have to change this. You can heal, but you need to get rid of this inflammation. So now you're going to be sitting here dealing with achy joints. You're going to have arthritis. Now you're going to be sitting here dealing with excess bloating and weight that you can't get rid of, or painful menstrual cycles, or heavy cycles in general. And you're struggling with your health because you're still holding on to these terrible habits that have put you in this space of being sick. You're sitting here thinking that I have to eat, and so I'm super, super hungry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run to this fast food place, and tomorrow I'm going to eat a salad. Even though you could have sat there and supported yourself with not only eating a salad and eating fruits today, but instead you're pushing and procrastinating till tomorrow when you feel like you're going to be in the right headspace. And then when you're not in the right headspace tomorrow, you're going to try and you're going to do it again. And you're going to do it again. And then you're prolonging this day after day, week after week, thinking that one day you're going to take care of yourself. And maybe one day you do diets. Maybe you start a diet. You do keto, you do paleo, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. You do some kind of diet culture, and now you're feeling good. You're like, oh, I've lost 5 pounds, I've lost 10 pounds, but that's water weight. And so it's not releasing the toxins. It's not getting rid of the actual bloating. And so you do this for maybe a month or less or more, and you're feeling good. So then you're like, oh, the diet worked. You get off the diet, right? Now you're going on vacation, or now all of a sudden, like, it's summertime and you're ready to be at the pool. But then within a month or two, you've gained all the weight back and some, or you're having more issues with your hormones. And so now you're having issues of bloating randomly, and you're trying to figure out, okay, well, maybe I need to go on another diet, or it didn't work. And you're trying to put the pieces together that aren't making sense. And the reason why it's not making sense and you're not being able to connect these puzzle pieces is because you never changed the actual habits of your lifestyle. And since you never changed the habits of your actual lifestyle, your body is still holding on to those terrible toxic habits and just waiting for you to flip back. So then when you flip back to the old habits that have made you toxic, that have made you inflamed, that have made you sick, that have made you uncomfortable, then your body goes, I knew you were going to do it. Okay, we're still in fight or flight mode. Now I'm going to hold on to everything that you're consuming now because I have no nutrition. I am lacking nutrition. You don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, a variety of colors. On top of that, you think that you being healthy is getting a salad from Wendy's or McDonald's and you eating that and you hating it, but at least you have your grilled chicken and your salad, right? Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. And you go through this same programming, this same mantra over and over again, doing diet culture, going back to your old habits, trying to do diets again, maybe sliding salads in there, maybe eating fruits every now and then. And you go through this full cycle of not realizing that it starts with your habits. It starts with your mindset first. Let me rephrase that. First, the mindset has to be right. And then you start changing your habits. Because when the mind is right, when the mind is clear, then you can have the action steps that help you be able to take that pressure off of yourself, that helps you be able to take the pressure off of your body internally and externally. Thinking that you have to be perfect, thinking that you are going to be guilt-free during this and that you're going to be sitting here suffering through this and hungry is the mindset that people have kept because they believe in diet culture. Expecting the worst, expecting that you have to do it exactly the way, count your calories, count your macros. You can't go over this intake of calories every single day. You sit there and you think, if I eat one cookie, it's going to throw off my whole system and I'm not going to be in this diet anymore. Or you're sitting here believing the fact that if you are sitting here eating terrible toxic sugars, you can do it in minimalism. You can do it in moderation. Because you cannot sit here and poison yourself in moderation with little microdoses of poison and say, well, I don't eat it that often. I only eat about it once a week. I only eat it this much. You don't know how to read your labels. You don't know how to read your ingredients. You're sitting here eating Chips Ahoy. You're sitting here eating Swedish Fish, Oreos, Takis, and you don't know what any of these things mean when it comes to the labels of actually reading what the ingredients are. You see the calories, you count the calories. Okay, I can have a handful of Takis. Okay, I can have 3 cookies and stay under my calorie count. But when you're not reading your ingredients on your label, you're still consuming titanium dioxide, which is going to throw off your system and make you inflamed. You're still consuming citric acid, which is black mold, which is going to make you inflamed. You're still sitting here consuming sodium phosphate, all the other different phosphates, dioxides, titaniums. You're consuming these and they make you inflammatory because not only are they preservatives, but they're also additives that are added for coloring, that are added for texture, for flavor. And these things are not natural. So they're not coming from a natural source of saying like, okay, you want citric acid to preserve it so it can stay on the shelf longer. So let's use real citrus. These companies don't use real citrus anymore. They stopped doing that decades ago. And the reason why is because it's so much easier to derive it from black mold. It's so much cheaper to derive it from black mold. All you need is a little bit of mold in a lab and they can keep it going. They don't have to sit there and try to go grow fruits or buy citrus or anything that makes them less profitable than what they are. Because that's all they're doing is trying to cut corners. Once they get to the space where they make you feel comfortable, they get you recognizing the brand, that you know it, you can chant the jingle, that's when they start to switch up the ingredients. That's when they start to slide different things, change the company, change the owner. And nobody questions these things. And this is the reason why we go generations and decades of not knowing what's in our food. We have gone this. And now we're in the space where we're so heavily deep into the programming that we don't realize the fact that you sitting here, for example, consuming Aunt Jemima's pancake syrup is not real syrup. And so when somebody tells you, hey, you don't need to be drinking that, you don't need to be consuming that, rather, not drinking it, you don't need to consume that, it's full of sugar, there's no reason for you to be consuming that. Well, I love Aunt Jemima. I can't have any other syrup because Aunt Jemima is the best. You haven't even had maple syrup since the last time you went to Cracker Barrel. Because when you go to Cracker Barrel, you love the syrup and you rant and you rave about how their maple syrup is so good, right? But you're not realizing it's just because it's 100% maple syrup. It's not Aunt Jemima. It's not full of sugars that are added, but it's natural sugar that comes from the earth. These are simple little changes that you can make and you should be making that help you not only elevate your health journey, but balance your hormones, because food is medicine when you do it correctly. But when you're not doing it correctly, when you don't know how to take care of yourself, when you don't know how to read your labels, when you don't understand the agenda that is going on, you're going to keep conforming. And conforming is only doing one thing to you, which is making you toxic. And that toxicity is making you sick. And this sickness is leading you down a path of chronic illnesses, diseases, and then sitting here dealing with an issue of maybe developing cancer, fibroids, cysts, sitting here having diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. All of these are problems that we are dealing with currently as a society as a whole. And it's not disconnected. The reason why we are dealing with these issues is because we don't understand how to support the system. Our system is so thrown off to the point where we don't even see how we're so malnourished. Because you sit here and you consume anything and everything. You don't eat enough fruits, you don't eat enough vegetables, and then you're trying to figure out why in the world is it not working for you. And you don't have to sit here and play a guessing game. But when you are playing this guessing game, it's because you are not changing your mindset and your habits. You're not getting to the root cause of why you're dealing with these things. And so when you get out of the space of thinking that you're lazy, that you have no discipline, you have no motivation, and you get out of the space of thinking that this is just a part of life and this is what my body does, you will understand that you're tired isn't just being fit, isn't just physical. You being inflamed isn't just about diet culture. And you sitting here being anxious, overwhelmed, and irritable isn't just hormones, but it's layers and layers of distress that you've been putting on your body for years on end. From the foods that you eat, from the products that you use, from the very little itty bitty age of when you started eating, from the very little itty bitty age from when you started learning how to clean. You've been normalized into fatigue. You've been normalized into a space of pushing through the pain and work and take care of everybody else and to serve everybody else as a woman without pause, without question. And then we go and we try to figure out why all of a sudden when we're in our 40s and our 50s that it's not working for us anymore and our body is breaking down. And then we try to figure out, okay, if our body is breaking down now, maybe I just need a diet or a surgery because this is the way for me to look better, right? But in reality, your body is breaking itself down to the max, not because you need another diet, not because you need to sit here and calorie counter or have a surgery, but it's because your body is remembering all of the years of trauma that you have put on your body and have not helped it. And so since you haven't helped it, all you've done is spike your body and put it in fight or flight mode. And every single symptom that it gives you is now saying, hey, I can't handle this. You're overloading your liver. You're overloading your pancreas. You're overloading your guts. You are overloading the kidneys. And these are vital systems that support the heart. And it can't support not only detoxifying you, keeping your blood clean, keeping your blood sugar regulated, all while you're still eating terrible toxic foods. It can't do that. So you have to sit there and figure out what is going on when it comes to my healing journey. Think about how you view diet culture, how you view being healthy. It's salads, kale, lemon water, right? Diets, keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. And you follow all of these plans, these managing symptoms, these band-aids, because these are band-aids. You follow these band-aids and you keep going back and forth to these band-aids, but your body is stuck in survival mode. And the reason why is because you're not getting to the energetic work that you have to do in order for you to get your nervous system grounded, your nervous system feeling calm, your nervous system trusting you again, because it can't trust you in the space that you are in currently right now. When your emotions are locked into the space subconsciously of not trusting you, you do realize the fact that that is going to put you in a space of inflammation. Because inflammation is not only from the foods that you eat and the products that you use, but it's also energetic. So when you're sitting there and you have terrible habits, you hold on to stress, for example. And then you sit here and you emotionally eat because you're like, okay, well, emotionally eating is going to support me because it's going to make me feel good right now. Give me that dopamine stimulation and I'll make it to the next day because I'm eating something and it makes me feel good and I'm going to go to bed after, right? But you're not realizing that, one, you just put yourself in an unstabilized blood sugar space. So then now you're sitting there all throughout the night trying to fight off unaliving, instead trying to stay alive. And so your body is panicking and it's keeping you up. You have no rest. And so then you wake up and you're fatigued. You're also not realizing that that stress that you had the day before didn't go away just because you ate your favorite snack and now you feel good because you get that dopamine response and you watch TV for hours. All it does is just make you hold on to it subconsciously. So then when your body goes back to what was going on, it goes, oh, I remember that time that she told me you were going to go on a diet, but instead of going on the diet, we got super stressed out. And when we got stressed out, I started eating. So that's what I'm going to do next time that I get stressed out. I'm going to start eating cookies and cake and ice cream because that makes me feel good. And so since I know that makes me feel good and diets don't make me feel good, every time you think about a diet, now I'm going to think about salads and how that's the only way that you can be healthy, and lemon water. And I don't even really like lemon water. And you're going in this full cycle of being stuck in survival mode of your body trying to get you to listen, but fighting against itself because consciously you know you need to change. But subconsciously you're getting told, well, this is what we've been doing and these are the habits that we have. And we are creatures of habit. So we love to sit and go through the full cycle of the habits that we know, the habits that we realize that, or not realize, but the habit patterns that we have come accustomed to. And so then you're fighting your own healing journey. And it's not because you're lazy, but it's because you're heavy. You're heavy with the emotional weight. You're heavy with the physical weight that you're carrying from foods. And you're heavy from the fact that you also don't realize that you are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally disconnected. So then now your fight or flight mode is tailoring your cravings. And so then you're sitting here thinking that the parasites are getting you, that the parasites are wanting you. I mean, that you're sitting here thinking that you want it's sugar. I'm saying this, I said this so backwards. You're sitting there thinking that you want sugar, but the parasites are craving. The cravings. The parasites are controlling you. And let's be clear, this is not your fault. Nobody is blaming you. Nobody is jumping on you. This is just clarification for you to understand that this is the system that you were in. This is the system that you were under. Your body was not put in a subconscious state to know that you were protecting it, but subconsciously you were trained from a very, very young age to put yourself in a stressed out state that makes your body want to protect you. And so then it holds on to the excess fat. It holds on to the fatigue. It holds on to the mental instability of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, because this is the only thing that it knows how to do. And it's been doing this for years on end. And you've been carrying yourself this way for so long because you don't realize that your symptoms are signals. There's signals to the body to let you know that these bloating, your cravings, you sitting here with painful cycles, they're calling to you to say, I need rest, I need a realignment, and I need to learn how to balance. And I do this for foods. I learn how to use food as my medicine. The symptoms are your invitation into something new to learn how to support the body and not just sit here and manage. But you have to flush your body, get rid of that inflammation. You have to know how to regulate your hormones. You have to understand how to nourish your body with foods. And doing this starts mentally with getting out of the space of thinking that you're doing everything that you should be doing and that diet culture supports you. Because it hasn't and it won't. And the reason why it won't support you is because it's in the system of poisoning you. You have to rebuild the foundation so that you get into the rhythm of what health really looks like. How you hold on to that and sustain that and not just play a guessing game. Because truth be told, y'all are playing a guessing game. And the real healing starts when you stop managing your symptoms. It becomes a subconscious thought when you realize that this was an invitation and I've been holding on for too long and carrying the same weight for too long and it has not been helping me. And there are millions of women dealing with the same issue. You're raising the next generation that's going to have the same issue. You're raising boys that don't understand how to regulate their own hormones. You're raising girls that don't know how to regulate their own hormones. And as women, we should be syncing with our cycle. But you have to learn how and learn what the phases of your cycle are first. Because you can't sync with something that you don't understand. And we aren't taught how to understand. We're taught how to manage with a prescription to make it to the next day and just work through the pain. It makes no sense to sit here and do the same thing and expect a different version of you to come out of it. Because as women, we first of all need to start taking care of ourselves more. Being more selfish. Because there's a difference between being selfish and then being a terrible person. Being selfish is understanding that I need to eat today and I know that I have 30,000 things to do, but first I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to eat and I'm going to drink water and I'm going to relax. And then giving myself that 10 minutes allows me to do 3 hours or plus of more work. Yes, I understand I have these things to do in my home, but did I check in with myself? Did I help myself? Things don't change overnight But you have to sit back and at least reassess and ask, what kind of woman would I be if I let go of these terrible habits? What kind of woman would I be if I stopped eating fast food? What kind of woman would I be mentally if I sat here and gave myself nourishing foods? What kind of woman would I be if I stopped calling myself lazy, thinking that I'm lazy, thinking there's something wrong with my body, and realize I'm not syncing with my cycle the way that my body needs? And so, yes, it feels like a punishment. You have to choose to no longer carry the weight that you were under. You have to choose to not only step into the space of being healthy and knowing what that looks like, but releasing diet culture. And so, in order for you to do that, the best thing that I have for you is to join my Balanced Body program. The Balanced Body program is already open. The link is in my bio. If you want to learn more about that, stay tuned to the end of the live and I will give you more about that. But we are at the end of the live. So if you have any questions, drop any questions that you have down below while I'm taking questions and I'm answering questions. I can tell you more about the Balanced Body program if you want to know. But we have to get into the concept of understanding the fact that your body is not at peace when you are living in the space that you are currently in. It can't be in peace because the system that you are in is designed naturally to make you distraught, to make you be in fight or flight mode, to make you not understand your body's design and how to heal and how to support yourself. And so when you start to get away from that space of thinking that you're in a prison when it comes to your body, that your cycle is a punishment, that your body is punishing you for being a woman, you will start to honor your body in a different way and you'll start to balance. You'll start to witness how your body starts to balance itself on its own, how it naturally heals itself on its own. But in order for you to heal, you have to make that connection that is your physical, your mental, and your spiritual. These three things have to be connected in order for you to rise up against the agenda that you are currently in and the health crisis that we are currently in. There are millions of women dealing with the same issues of fibroids and cysts, and these are both inflammation issues. These are both things that are tied to foods. These are both things that are tied to products. And we are programmed to use perfumes full of chemicals. We're programmed to eat processed snacks full of terrible toxic ingredients. We are programmed to sit here and not sync with our cycle, but instead push through it and go through the pain and make it through with a prescription, a surgery, or some kind of birth control. This is not the reality that we were supposed to be living in. And when you are ready to change that, you are ready to join the Balanced Body program. This is going to be your step-by-step strategy. This strategy is going to walk you through exactly how to live a plant-based lifestyle, how to support the system using foods, how to understand how to sync with the cycle, using making your non-toxic products, using these non-toxic products, and showing you how you don't have to have chemicals in your home. You don't have to have chemicals in your life. But in order for you to start doing these things, you have to first get into the space of realizing the change is coming for you and you are ready for it and you are open and you are ready to take action. When you get into that program, we do mental mind work to make sure that you are in the mental space that keeps you going so that by the end of the 6 weeks, you are sustaining. And I want to mention this so that we have the mental reminder that I am doing a cleansing session for 4 weeks. It is at 111. That is the lowest that I've ever done a cleansing session. So this is going to be just like the program, but instead of it being a one-on-one setting, it will be a group setting. That price is 111. You can start, you can go ahead and sign up for that. We start, I think in a week. I think I set it for the week, because my birthday is next week. So I set it for next week. Because I was going to cleanse this week, but with all the timeline of everything that went going on, I am going to cleanse this week. So let me rephrase that. I was going to start the cleansing session this week, but my cleanse is going to start this week, carry on to next week. And so I want to get everybody in the space and comfortable next week. And so if you sign up, we're going ahead and get you set up for the 4 weeks by next week. But if you are looking for a strategy for you to be able to detoxify, that session is going to help you. If you're looking for one-on-one help, full strategy of how to live a plant-based lifestyle, know how to make your own non-toxic products, have those workshops with me, have our one-on-one sessions, and have a deeper connection on how to sustain this lifestyle and have endless access during that program time, we do have an app that you have access to from me, or you have access to me from that app, that you can message me any questions that you have, any concerns, any like, hey, I want to make this recipe, how do I do it? And so those are the benefits that you get when you were in the program. The session is slightly different. You're not going to get that full access, that full strategy of living a full plant-based lifestyle, but more into the strategy of detoxing and cleansing and doing it from the space of sustaining, detoxing, and cleansing. You won't get that cycle syncing help with that now. That goes only in the program, because I have to be able to work with you for 6 weeks so that we are getting the full plethora of your cycle and eating for your phases. So if you are ready to do that work, and you know that you are ready to actually step into the space of your health journey and not just manage and guess, click the link in my bio. You can check that out. And if you want to, if you want me to send you the link directly, you can DM me. So I am not seeing any questions. I am going to hop off. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. This live will be posted on YouTube if you missed this live, so you can check that out. I will be back tomorrow, is my hope to be back. If not, I'll be back on Friday, but I think I'll be back tomorrow. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I hope that this has helped you be able to shift, to get your mindset right, maybe inspired you, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all. Peace.